this is it. The final crawl space trash pile, minus about, I would say, 10 trash bags that I've already thrown away in the trash as space has allowed. So time to load this all up in the truck. Hopefully it fits, we'll see, and we'll take it to the dump. All clean over here. Finally, I'm excited. Time to go to the dump. I'm excited because today I get to transition from cleaning out the crawl space to actually making something. So I got a chop saw a little while ago and the table saw is working. So today I'm gonna try to make a couple of hatches. I'm gonna frame the crawl space entrances with pressure treated 2x4s, and then I'm gonna put a pressure treated 3/4 inch sheet of plywood on top and secure it with wing nuts. That's pretty good. Awesome, that looks like it fits pretty well. Time for my favorite tool again, the good old hammer drill. Hope I'm not burning out my poor little 12-volt impact driver here. Here we go. One side perfectly in. Yeah, so I think I need to chisel away a little bit right here, which really sucks, but yeah, I think it needs to happen. Trying to be very gentle here, as gentle as possible. Take a little bit off at a time. I definitely don't want to remove more foundation than is necessary. Okay, that actually looks really nice. That will work. Okay, time to get this guy back in. So I'm out of these pressure treated 2x4s, but I do have a scrap piece, I think of like 2x12 pressure treated wood that the previous owners left in a scrap pile. So I'm gonna rip that 2x12 down, make up enough stock to double up both of these side studs, and that will support the top a bit better, just because I don't really love what's going on with this cracked foundation right here. So, you know, for what it's worth, might as well throw them in there. One more time into the crawl space.
Hey, Future Andy here. I learned later that I should not have used spray foam for this job. It's not rodent resistant. You can, I guess, get a type of spray foam that has some scent to it or something that's supposed to repel rodents, but concrete would have been a much better material for this. I'm going to keep an eye on these hatches, and if they develop any holes or anything, I'll probably dig out the spray foam and add concrete later.
Looks dry. That means we can trim it off and make some doors for these hatches. So it occurred to me yesterday, after I cut the 2x4s, that when you make a cut on pressure-treated lumber, the end that you cut is no longer protected. So I looked it up, and it looks like you're supposed to put this stuff on there, which is basically the same-ish copper solution that they used to pressure-treat wood in the first place. So I should have probably done the end grains of those 2x4s, but it's kind of too late. So I'm at least going to put this on the edge of the plywood. So what I'm planning on doing here is running these two nuts on here. And I won't actually use these nuts when it's complete. I just want the second one to backstop against the first one, so I can then take a ratchet and drive it in. I got some washers and some wing nuts. That is a much, much better seal than before. See that wood down there? It's actually a crawl space vent, and right now it's just completely buried in the dirt. So if I want any chance of air ventilation passing through there, I need to dig this out. Yep, perfect. Well, I just did something really dumb. I cut into my fence on my miter gauge. Yeah, definitely need to move this way so that the wood is hanging off at the end and I don't cut into that. This miter gauge is set up for my old table saw, not this one. Luckily, I don't think that hurt anything. So that looks like it's just about perfect. Okay, there they are. After many passes over the table saw, 4 differently sized frames for our 4 oddly shaped crawl space vents. Hi there. What's that? You wanna tour the crawl space? Yeah, I'd be more than happy to. Come on in. So here we are in my personal favorite part of the crawl space, right over here by the back door. And I love this area because it's nice and tall and I can sit up. And it's just so, light and bright and airy in here. After the renovation, we've got this fiberglass batten insulation in the ceiling here, secured by this twine, so I feel really safe in here, like it's not going to fall down on my head. Then we've got this nice white film down here on the floor, and it just, it reflects light so well. I've got this light pointed upwards, and it's just so bright in here. And then I've got my fresh air coming in from the screen on the back door. So yeah, this is where I spend most of my time, but let me show you around some other areas too. So over here we've got the utility area of the crawl space, and this is a huge difference from before. You can see all this intake and return ducting has been really nicely insulated with this fiberglass. We got our furnace back here. We had some asbestos encapsulation done on some old asbestos tape that was around one of the ducts. So, I just feel so much better that it's, I'm breathing safe air. And this is really going to help us a lot when it comes to next winter on our heating bill. We're just going to hopefully save a bunch of money on, excess natural gas costs and all that. And all this stuff was super leaky before, so it's been sealed up with duct mastic, and yeah, just really feeling good about this area. Oh, I'm sorry, I got distracted. This is another one of my favorites, I gotta say. This big front window here, looking out on the street. The sun's coming in. You can feel the fresh breeze coming into the crawl space here. This is just making sure that, any moisture that gets in here, it's just gonna get sucked right out this front window. It's really a nice place to hang out and just enjoy the scenery, really. And here's a close-up view of that window. You can see this it's kind of rustic vibe we've got going on here with the spray foam. I really like the, the kind of drippy, goopy, just, aesthetic that brings to this front window. Really, really enjoying that. And, I love having this grate here. Kind of hard to see on camera, but just so much nicer than a louvered vent hatch there, because this just, I can see through this. I can feel the breeze on my face right now. Just a really enjoyable spot to be. And here's a quick detail of that insulation I've got in the ceiling here and the twine securing it all. So this is packed up here really nicely, and this is not coming down anytime soon. And if I do need to do any work here between the joists, I'm pretty sure I could trim this twine and secure it back up there pretty easily. So feeling really good about this ceiling insulation I got going here. So I'll be honest, I don't visit this side of the crawl space very much. It starts to get a little narrow up that way, but there are 3 more great windows there that are providing some really nice cross ventilation. But there's the water line comes in over there. There's some more ducting, kind of more of the same, but this lower area with more headroom is really my preferred area to hang out down here. Now here's a fun little detail. You can see how they secure this vapor barrier down to the ground here. It's just this kind of U-shaped little stake, and these are all along the edges. These sheets are also taped together with white tape. And then another thing here is you can see they've just cut out a hole in the vapor barrier here to let through these penetrations. But most of the ground is covered, so it's gonna do a good job keeping that moisture content down in the ground rather than up here in the crawl space and into our floor and the wood and all that stuff. Here's some of that tape I was talking about, and you can barely see it, honestly. Really like how it blends in with the white vapor barrier that they installed here. And here's that jack post I installed in the last episode. Still holding up fine. Hopefully get many more years to come out of this guy. Well, that's pretty much it. Like I said, there's more back that way, but we don't need to go back there. And yeah, thanks for stopping by. Come back anytime. I'll be here enjoying my nice new bright clean crawl space. All right, bye.
Okay, so in all seriousness, I'm really glad to have that project done. And you might be wondering, how much did it cost? So this was not a cheap job. Let's go through the line items one by one. So first off is asbestos encapsulation. That was $2,000, and that was a one-day job for 2 guys. Second on the list is duct repair and sealing, subfloor sealing, floor insulation, and vapor barrier installation, and that came to $7,400. That was a 2-day job, 2 guys on the first day and 3 on the second. And then lastly, my own work and tools, I'm going to estimate about $1,400 spent there. So that brings the total to $10,800. And that is not cheap. So what does that actually buy? So first of all, much better heat retention in the winter, obviously, because of that floor insulation. And that is not only a cost savings thing, but it's also a comfort thing. If the warm air is staying in the house longer and not being sucked out and replaced by cold air, it's just going to be more comfortable. And the second thing is just better indoor air quality. So if you think about it, leaky ducts down in the crawl space are actually mixing air from the crawl space with the air that they're putting back into the house. And they could be bringing in natural gases from the ground like radon or methane or even mold if it's too damp down there. And that brings me to the last point, which is just a dry underside of the house. So any moisture that accumulates down there will now dry out because of the now 6 venting places around the perimeter. So those things might seem a little bit intangible, but they are actually really important in the long run for protecting our investment in the house. So I am really happy that it's done. It felt awesome to have that finished. And I can't wait to move on to some above floor projects. So I will see you in the next one.